Hat, sunglasses, Pepsi, notes, sources, thick skin, check. You already know. Let's go. Welcome to Gold and Blue today, everybody. This is a college football channel. So if you like college football, hit the like and subscribe button. It's that simple. Also, send gear to represent your team and be a part of my background forever. All you have to do is send it to P.O. Box 360, Liberty, South Carolina 29657. And don't forget to check out our Patreon page. We have a lot of great perks over there. The perk that people seem to enjoy the most, of course, is the score prediction contest where we award $20 every single week to whoever gets closest to the actual score of the game that I pick. We also did a championship week. I will award $25 to that winner. And right now is the best time to join Patreon because we are going to do the bowl prediction contest. First place prize will win $50. Second place prize is an autographed gold and blue flat bill hat. And the third place prize is a shout out. And the more Patreons we get, the higher we can bump up the prize. So if we get up to $300 worth of Patreon pledges, we will bump up the prize to $75. If we get up to $400 worth of Patreon pledges, we'll bump the prize up to $100, and so on and so forth. So there's even an incentive for current Patreon members to encourage other people to join Patreon. That way the prize goes even higher. I'll leave the link to the Patreon page in the description of this video. And I tell you what, things keep getting stranger and stranger in Morgantown, West Virginia. We already know that Shane Lyons was fired at West Virginia. We already know that West Virginia is retaining Neil Brown. And we already know that a lot of the recruits that are coming into West Virginia are happy that Neil Brown has been retained. I'm also hearing that Shane Lyons was one of the main reasons holding Neil Brown back. How that has to do with football as far as what's on the field, I don't know. But listen, we're giving him one more year. Shane Lyons isn't at West Virginia, so that excuse is out the window. Now we're dealing with a lot of people entering the transfer portal. Now, I'm not going to say this was unexpected. I expected this, but still it's adding to the pile. We already know that Charles Woods entered the transfer portal. He's actually already landed at SMU. We heard rumors that C.J. Donaldson was entering the transfer portal. Nothing really came out of that. Mumu bin Wanhad, he did in fact enter the transfer portal. Then the other day we heard that Bryce Ford Wheaton is forgoing his last year of eligibility and entering the NFL draft. And then more recently, we heard that wide receiver Reese Smith, who started a couple games, he's in the transfer portal. And then the biggest news of the day, J.T.Daniels has entered the transfer portal at West Virginia. This does not surprise me. And in last night's live show, I actually suggested that J.T.Daniels should do that. I think it's best for J.T.Daniels, and I think it's best for West Virginia. Listen, this is not me saying that J.T.Daniels is a bad quarterback. On the contrary, I think he's a great quarterback. He was just a bad fit for West Virginia. I actually feel bad for the guy. I think he wasted a year of eligibility at West Virginia. West Virginia, not a good fit for J.T.Daniels. I think West Virginia needs to run that RPO spread offense, and we ran it well under Garrett Green, and Nico Markle can run that offense as well. J.T.Daniels, not so much. He is not mobile at all. Not a good fit. That's what West Virginia has success with, and J.T.Daniels just didn't fit that mold. He needs to go to a quarterback system where it fits his mold, where that particular football program has success with a less mobile quarterback. Great arm, just not mobile. So J.T.Daniels in the transfer portal. A lot of teams are going to try to get J.T.Daniels. Maybe he does end up with Missouri or Oregon State. Those two were on the list before he chose West Virginia. This is a sad story because as a West Virginia fan, man, J.T.Daniels coming to West Virginia, high hopes, and it just didn't work out. But it's the right decision both for J.T.Daniels and for West Virginia. And remember what I said yesterday, over 200 recruits and players that have entered the transfer portal have reached out to Colorado and Deion Sanders. Could J.T.Daniels be headed to Colorado? Now that right there is something to think about. But I've also heard a bunch of other things, a bunch of crazy things. So yesterday I started seeing articles popping out, old articles and newer articles, talking about how the ACC was, in fact, interested in West Virginia. Y'all already know I've been talking about West Virginia to the ACC for almost a year and a half now. Right when Oklahoma and Texas announced that they were going to the SEC, and the SEC confirmed that, I started hearing rumors and from my actual sources that, yes, the ACC is talking to West Virginia. And the biggest mistake that I made in those videos is I gave a timeline. I thought things were actually decided. I was wrong. Things were not decided, but the ACC was interested in West Virginia and talking to West Virginia and vice versa. That actually happened. And I'm seeing more sources come out and say, yeah, those conversations actually happened. What really makes me mad, is whenever Shane Lyons was interviewed and asked about the rumors about the ACC in West Virginia, he said flat out, no, we have not been talking to the ACC. The ACC has not been talking to West Virginia. The ACC is not interested in West Virginia. And that was a bold-faced lie. Why did he lie to us? Listen, they didn't ask him, is West Virginia going to the ACC? That was not the question. The question was, has the ACC shown any interest? And he said no. He lied to us. The reason that makes me mad is because I trusted my sources. These guys are close to the situation. And they were telling me, yes, I don't know why Shane Lyons said that. Yes, the ACC is interested in West Virginia. They've been talking to West Virginia. Now, ultimately, it fell apart. I don't know who's to blame as far as did West Virginia finally decide, hey, listen, you guys are dragging your feet. You've turned us down in the past. We don't want to be treated like a lesser member of the ACC if we do join the ACC. So, thanks but no thanks. We're sticking with the Big 12. Or was it the ACC saying, well, you know, we thought about you, but we still don't think you're the right fit as of right now. Because according to these articles, the ACC could revisit adding West Virginia. Problem is, West Virginia has signed the Big 12 grant of rights. So they won't be available until 2031. So has the train passed for the ACC as finally grabbing West Virginia like they should have done 30 years ago. 30 years ago, they should have grabbed West Virginia, and I think that they wouldn't be in this position. I'm convinced that the ACC wouldn't be in this position if they would have added West Virginia a long, long time ago. But here we are. Here we are. And I'm also hearing that the 8 members needed to vote to dissolve the ACC are there. They exist. They are there. So the ACC looks like it could be in trouble. It just blows my mind. The thing that really blows my mind is the Notre Dame factor. Why in the world would you give Notre Dame, who's not even a full-time football member, a nuke vote? What do I mean by nuke vote? I mean a vote to dissolve. A vote to, they have one of those votes. They could come to the table and say, we vote to dissolve, and that vote would count. Why did you do that, ACC? Listen. I understand. I understand that Notre Dame brought brand recognition to the ACC. I understand that. I understand that Notre Dame helped with the strength of schedule for the ACC. I understand all that. They brought a lot of value to the ACC. But the bottom line is they are not a full-time football member for the ACC. And football is what drives these conferences and the revenue. And you gave them a nuke vote. So you don't take West Virginia, but Notre Dame, who's not even a full-time member, you give them a nuke vote. What kind of world are we living in? And then not even talking about the terrible TV deal that they got through ESPN. What is going on in the ACC? Why are they making such terrible decisions? It makes absolutely no sense. But the main emotion that I'm feeling in this particular video is anger and betrayal towards Shane Lyons. During my lifetime, and I'm about to turn 40 years old, I've been a Mountaineer fan since 1988 when I was 5 years old. Well, turned 6 years old that year. So, the thing that gets me is, he is the worst, without a doubt, the worst athletic director in my lifetime. And you older generations, you probably like, well, no, there's worse. We saw worse before him. I understand that. But during my particular generation, my lifetime, Shane Lyons was the worst. That was a terrible, terrible hire. So if you look at the overall athletics of West Virginia, it is the worst as far as the level of play, the competition, being competitive, competing for championships, whether it's conference, whatever. We are at our lowest in like 30, 40 years. The lowest. And I know we've had some bad years under Don Nehlen, but it was only like 1 or 2 here and there. And then, of course, the beginning of Rich Rod, he was building something, but it was rough in the beginning. But this is a stretch that I've never seen before. 3 or 4 years of either mediocrity or playing bad. We're playing bad right now. And it does have a lot to do with Shane Lyons. Now listen, I'm not saying that Neil Brown's a great head coach and that all of a sudden everything is going to be awesome. We will finally see that Neil Brown's a great coach. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is Shane Lyons was a snake in the grass for West Virginia. And that's why he got fired. I understand they're giving Neil Brown another season, and I hope that Neil Brown proves me wrong, because I do think he's a good guy. It just hasn't translated to the field. Listen, you don't keep a guy as your head football coach. Oh, he's a great guy and he's promoted the culture that we want. That's fine and dandy. But are we winning football games? Because that is the most important thing. That's what drives in the revenue. Because if you start having losing seasons like we are, or barely getting to a bowl, you're going to start losing fan support. So we need to start making better decisions. A lot of crazy things going on at West Virginia. We find out that Shane Lyons lied about the interest of the ACC in West Virginia. That was there. It's real. People are starting to talk about it. It didn't happen. Now, that's one thing. But lying about the interest, that's a whole complete... Why? Why did he lie? That's what I want to know. Why did he lie about that? So y'all let me know in the comments section, do you think West Virginia can bounce back from this situation? And the second thing is, how surprised are you that Shane Lyons lied about the ACC being interested in West Virginia? I'm pretty surprised. I didn't know somebody could stoop that low. That's all I got for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.